Hey guys, Nate Tice here from the Athletic Football Show, back again with a final installment in this YouTube series where I look at the top quarterback prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. Today, going to be looking at Florida's Anthony Richardson. Richardson blew the doors off on the athletic testing at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis a few months ago, but there's more to his game than just his freakish athletic and physical profile. So let's take a dive into the film and see what Richardson's all about. Now, first and foremost, and I do want to talk about all the quarterback things that Richardson does well when you watch him on film, and some of the things that he does have to work on are some of the weaknesses when you watch him on film. But you have to start with his physical and athletic profile. It's truly rare at any position, but much less the quarterback position. Truly, truly special, a generational S tier, whatever term you want to use. That's what Richardson is playing quarterback. He's a shade under 6'4", 244 pounds, 10.5-inch hands. He ran a legit 4.43 40-yard dash at the Combine. This wasn't some pro day home cooking he got in Gainesville. A 40.5-inch vertical jump, a 10'9" broad jump. Yes, a quarterback is not going to be vertically and broad jumping as they play, but it shows off the explosive ability that Richardson has. That weight, hand size 40 broad and vertical jumps, all tested above 95th percentile for all quarterbacks, according to the website mockdraftable.com. And if you look at mockdraftable.com, they have this tool where you can look at all athletes in the NFL, that what their testing numbers were and their closest physical and athletic comparisons. Anthony Richardson, the second highest comparison that he has was Khalil Mack, an edge player, a truly special athlete playing edge. And that's what Richardson is, playing quarterback. He does a lot of these quarterback things well, but these physical and athletic tools that he has are just special. Now, those athletic traits wouldn't matter unless they show up on the film. And with Richardson, boy, do they ever. What he did at the Combine is exceptional, but if you watch Anthony Richardson play, it shouldn't have surprised anyone that he tested so well in Indianapolis. Here he is carrying a Georgia defender 4 yards, a defensive lineman that weighs over 300 pounds actually, for 4 yards and creating something out of nothing, or bouncing off a tackler on a designed run and picking up those extra yards, outracing spy defenders. That the play is designed by the defense to limit this exact play that Richardson does. Richardson against LSU is outracing the spy defender to the edge and picking up yards, or beating defensive backs to the edge on bootlegs, or running them over down the field and lowering his shoulder and running through them. That 4.4 speed and 240-pound frame show up time and again. He has a scramble or two a game that are truly jaw-dropping, where you're just going, oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that happen. He's out-racing guys, running guys over, juking guys, running through people. It's exceptional. It's really, really fun and enjoyable to watch. His running ability is a true floor-raising asset. He has the size to handle runs between the tackles and the speed to run to that edge. The entire play-calling menu is available for coaches because of Richardson's athletic gifts. That size is also a negative play eraser. He consistently gets throws off that otherwise would be sacks, whether it's taking the safe play and throwing the ball away, or launching something down the field and creating a plus play out of nothing, or an opportunity of a plus play. I like this one against Georgia, where he bounces off tacklers in the pocket, gets away from it, and then decides to throw a ball like 65 yards down the field. It goes incomplete, but the fact that that was even a possibility for Richardson, a thought that went through his mind that he could actually feasibly do this is it's incredible. It's really, really cool. His size and legs give him room for error, expand playbooks, and that's even before talking about his arm strength and arm talent. That arm strength and arm talent shows up when you watch Richardson. It's not just something that you see in drills and routes on air and you're like, oh, that's cool. Why doesn't that show up in the game? He's launching deep balls on a weekly basis, whether it's a 60-something yard post route, whether it's a deep go on the outside, whether it's a throw like this right here against Eastern Washington, where a defender is trying to drag him to the ground, and he still has the arm strength with no legs here, literal arm strength, to throw it all the way to the opposite sideline from a far college hash. That's a seriously impressive throw, and it shows Richardson trying to throw a ball on time, and when he can't, he still has the room for error because of his athletic and physical gifts to make the play happen. There's plenty of examples of Richardson hitting routes like deep corners and overs off of heavy play action, throws that not only require anticipation and touch, but of course the arm strength to get the ball there. These are not throws that every quarterback can make, or when they do attempt them, everything has to be perfect in a great situation. Richardson's able to make these throws off of different platforms and different settings and different pressures coming into his face. It's really impressive. And it's not just throws down the field or deep balls where this arm talent shows up. It's when he's driving on balls, both when his feet are set or off platform. It's throwing the ball in curl routes from clean pockets. It's throwing on the outside here when he has to move in the pocket and still rifles the throw in there, and it just creates more opportunity for yards after the catch because the ball gets there so quickly. It's movement throws when he's moving in the pocket up and around. Feet aren't set, still able to drive on the throws and create opportunities when he sees them. It's bootleg throws when he's on the move. This touchdown against Mizzou, that ball is missiled in there, and he's on the move while he throws it. There's another movement throw like here against LSU, where you see a little bit of arm talent and creativity come up here, where there's not a lot of room there, not a huge window for him to find a throw, and he's still able to get it there, showing off touch, anticipation, as well as that arm strength. Just general arm talent with Anthony Richardson, just it lets him shine. And it's really cool to see some of the throws that he's able to make that some quarterbacks wouldn't even attempt. There's also a surprising amount of polish with Richardson's game that speaks to his ability to play quarterback rather than just being an athlete back there. He has pocket movement that shows up time and time again. He can really feel the pass rush and keeps his eyes downfield. He stays in attack mode and really only scrambles and puts his eyes down when he has to. Everything is covered up, or the picture changed, or the defense did something funky is the only times you see him scramble. He doesn't just break that glass for no reason. He flashes ball placement. Here's a mesh concept on 3rd and long against Tennessee. He reads out the play and then places the ball away from the closing safety to hit the mesh route and convert it for a first down in the red zone. There's a timing and internal clock that Richardson plays with. He tries to do the right thing a lot of the times. He doesn't force a lot of throws. He listens to his feet. He'll find checkdowns, promptly find the checkdowns, and give them room to work with. He has eyes to move safeties and hold safeties. There's that play against Georgia where he hits the hole shot, but there's also this play against South Florida where he hits the top of his drop, flashes his eyes to the middle field, holds the safety so the safety doesn't get too much width, and then delivers a corner route perfectly and promptly. All this makes Richardson an intriguing player that really knows how to play quarterback along with just his exceptional athletic gifts. Those are post-snap examples of Richardson's polish, but it applies to the pre-snap ability that Richardson has. He shows off the ability to play quarterback. Playing quarterback is not just being the best athlete on the field, throwing the ball the furthest, or running the fastest 40, although there's plenty of high school coaches that will tell you that. Playing quarterback is about communicating with your teammates. It's being that general on the field, understanding the concept that's being run, getting to the right play when plays are packaged together, handling communications to the teammates in the huddle, pre-snap, getting shifts and alignments right, also doing the protection stuff if your offense allows you to do that. Do you have that trump card? Do you have the ability to trump the offensive line and get them sorted out? Well, Florida's offense let Richardson do that, which is a very encouraging sign of where he is mentally to be able to play quarterback at the NFL level. All this stuff translates. One of my favorite plays of Richardson, on top of this ball being a beautiful deep go ball on a 4th down, it's all the pre-snap stuff that Richardson shows here. He is against Tennessee here. It's a 4th and short on their own side of the field near the end of the 3rd quarter, close game. And Richardson takes a pause after he puts everybody aligned, gets everybody aligned, and handles the protection and gets the offensive line sorted, gets them looking in the right direction. Tennessee doesn't bring a blitz here, but the fact that this is on the road and 4th down in a tight ball game, and Richardson just has that calm demeanor to get everyone aligned, let's get the protection right, and then on top of it, let's just rip a go ball for a huge gain on 4th down. All of this makes Richardson just so cool to watch that, yeah, he does all these crazy athletic things that not a lot of quarterbacks can do, but he also does the mental side that you need to do at the NFL level. And the last thing to note with Richardson, and I'm going to mark this as a strength, and it's more just a data point, is how young he is. He's 20 years old at the time of this video. He turns 21 next month in May. He doesn't have a ton of experience starting, which I'm going to talk about as a weakness as well. But I do have to note this, that the polish that he's shown just as a 1-year full-time starter at Florida with only a smattering of experience in the year before, and really just the lack of experience that he has playing the quarterback position. Early on in high school, he was playing receiver and other positions before moving to quarterback. So he doesn't have a lot of those extra reps that some of these guys have from middle school onwards playing the position. So the fact that he has shown some advanced 201, 301 level play, pre-snap, post-snap, operating and progressing, makes you bullish and optimistic about what he can become and more room for growth that he can have. And now time to talk about weaknesses and room for improvement with Richardson. And I'm going to start by talking out both sides of my mouth because I just know this as a strength, but it's also a weakness, and that's Richardson's lack of experience playing the quarterback position. Richardson's first year starting as a quarterback and only year starting as a full-time quarterback at Florida came under a new head coach this year in 2022, Billy Napier. And Napier's offense preferred to run a lot of heavy play action concepts. And when I say heavy play action, I mean down the field with only 2 routes going down the field, plus a running back on a check down. And that's all fine and good because a lot of NFL teams run these types of concepts that are staple concepts for plenty of teams at the college and NFL level. But those also put a governor on really what is needed from the quarterback. He only has to go from 1 to 2 to check down those plays, sometimes only looking at one half of the field. And again, NFL teams all run these types of plays, but not a ton major in them where they're running them 20 times a game, like Florida was at times. So while Richardson did show a lot of growth in these plays, and he was pretty damn good sifting through and progressing through, going from 1 to 2, finding the check down promptly when he needed to, he just doesn't have a lot of experience in running true drop back concepts where he has to go left to right. He has to shortcut reads. He has to find the 4th read sometimes. He has to check it down quicker because the downfield routes aren't coming open right away. So yes, he does have nice reps of doing those types of plays, drop back concepts. He just doesn't have that experience where, okay, what else can he do outside of these 5-6 plays that Florida preferred to run when they had these types of situations? Here's an example against South Florida where Richardson might not have a lot of time with this play outside of practice. So there might not be a lot of live bullet reps in the game where he's actually having to read this and make the throw. You can see him progressing, but as he gets to the read, he throws it right to the South Florida defender. And because I think he anticipates that route just popping wide open like it probably did in practice. Not seeing that how defenders work with one another, reading them on a string that if this guy's covered, that means this guy is open. He anticipated, but he predetermined the anticipation. While it is good that Richardson makes the tackle on this play, you always want to see that. You love the hustle. Hopefully he's not throwing a lot of these interceptions at the NFL level. Now, there were some drop back plays where as the season went along and those calls got repeated, you saw Richardson get a little feel for him. You see him progressing and looking guys off. But the NFL, they're going to be asked to run these types of plays. Quarterbacks are dozens of different varieties on 3rd down, on red zone. They're going to change that play you're comfortable with last week. We're not running again for 10 more weeks. That other play you're comfortable with, we're running out of a different type of personnel and different type of formation. That is just what happens at the NFL. It's needed at the NFL. That's the diversification of scheme that happens at the NFL. But there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Richardson once he enters the NFL and has to handle all of that. A thing that you might have noted when you looked at Richardson's stat lines or box score numbers is his low completion percentage, under 55% at 53.8%. And it is notable. I will wave away some of it in saying that the Florida's offense wasn't really conducive to a high completion percentage. A lot of throws down the field. He had a high number as far as average depth of target. Not a lot of RPOs or throwing RPOs where it's slants and bubbles. They did have this in the offense, but they didn't operate in quick game at Florida. They preferred to run the ball. That's how they attacked underneath on the defenses. Was we'd rather pound the rock than throw a little slant or hitch route. So those plays can really lift up a player's completion percentage, but that's not to say that's the only thing with Richardson having a low completion percentage. He also would have times because his footwork is a little too bouncy. You've seen the pocket movement. He's all over the place. He does have great balance, but his feet might be up in the air a little bit. Or his feet might be just a little out of whack. And it leads to him kind of, missing throws and missing the target, throwing high a lot of times. He does throw high. He has a tendency to do that. Generally on more intermediate throws, when he's kind of in no man's land throwing the ball, he tries to get a little too cute. Do I line this throw in there? Do I throw a touch? I'm not sure. Like a basketball player that doesn't know whether to bank a shot or lay it up and put it over the rim. Did not really see a lot of concerns on underneath throws that I know that has been a talking point. I see plenty of times when he was asked to throw underneath on screens or bubbles or flats or slants where he puts the ball in the money or leads the receiver on a crosser. So I don't have the concerns about the underneath throws, but it's more that he has some footwork stuff that he does need to clean up, because while he has the ability to make all the throws, this will allow him to consistently make all the throws. As far as best team fits for Richardson, really, I think anyone with a good team situation to let him withstand some blows, or they can withstand some blows if Richardson has to start. A team with a good alternate quarterback, a backup with some experience, or a good creative play caller, maybe a strong offensive line. So if you look at the top of the draft, Carolina Panthers sitting at the number 1 pick, a good offensive line, Frank Reich as a play caller, Andy Dalton waiting in the wings and who can handle some things till Richardson's able to start. Because while I do think Anthony Richardson can start earlier than people anticipate, athlete, I do think it would be best for him to kind of sit in the wings and wait and learn from NFL coaches and players and their experience, and learn and dive more into an NFL playbook. So also other teams at the top of the first round, the Indianapolis Colts with Tice, he showed that he's able to adapt his play calling and his play scheme based on the quarterback's strengths with Jalen Hurts when he's with him at the Eagles. They also have Gardner Minshew, which also has NFL starting experience, someone that can handle and hold the fort down until Richardson's able to start. Other teams at the top of the first round, the Seattle Seahawks and Detroit Lions are kind of in the same boat. They have their starters, Geno Smith, Jared Goff. They have good offensive lines. They have some weapons built around them. They're kind of up and coming teams, ascending teams. I think that Richardson could take over the reins for both of those teams and do it very well. And I love the fit for both of those teams. For his best pro comparison for Richardson, it's really hard to find one. So I went with the one that's pretty popular when looking at these players, and that's Josh Allen. And while both players are big, strong, can throw the ball a mile, can run over defenders or run past defenders, they're not a perfect one-to-one player comparison as far as play style. Now, both entered the NFL, Josh Allen a few years ago and Richardson this year, with accuracy concerns. And while I do think Josh Allen's were warranted until he changed his throwing style and cleaned up his footwork, I think Richardson's is a little bit overblown, but it is still a bit of a question mark that he will have to answer. Now, if you're looking at a historical comparison, I really do think the best comparison I have for Richardson is a combo between two quarterbacks selected in the 1999 NFL draft, and that's Donovan McNabb and Dante Culpepper. He's kind of McNabb's play style and throwing motion combined with Culpepper's size, athletic ability, and deep arm strength. Now, again, none of these are perfect, but Richardson is a unique unicorn type prospect, so you have to draw from unique unicorn type prospects of the past. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, or checking out any of the videos of the series, or all the videos of the series, the ones I did on CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, and now Anthony Richardson. Can't thank you guys enough for checking all these videos out. Please like and subscribe the Athletic Football Show's YouTube channel. We are doing a live draft show Thursday night covering the first round, Friday night covering the second and third rounds. Me, Robert Mays, Dane Brugler, every pick providing analysis. We barely even have bathroom breaks. We are going to be watching and breaking down the draft live in real time. So please come hang out. It's going to be a great time, and see you guys next time.